Hey guys, Any Figure Therapy here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the kotobukiya 1/7, I believe. Let me double check that really quick. 1/8. Oshino Shinobu from Nisei Monogatari, or just the Monogatari series in general. This figure retailed for about 7,800 yen, so running you about a $75 to $80 in USD, and yeah, it's still available today, which is awesome because they did rerun it in 2019, so it is pretty recent. Its original release was in 2014, I believe. So yeah, there's that. As an older figure, it's a great budget Shinobu, especially since you do get this very nice smug Shinobu face. So let's go ahead and crack her open. So what's always interesting is sometimes boxes will have this sticker which says sales outside Japan only, and I always kind of wonder what that means exactly because it's just kind of funny. But as far as I can tell, it really is just a foreign thing because almost forgot this. Gotta cut the sides. Because sometimes I buy figures from Japan and they don't have that, so it is kind of weird. What's nice also is that it has this little top piece, which sometimes is annoying because I was looking at an Airish figure today, and it just had straight cardboard through the back, so you can kind of tell that's kind of a weird quality thing. So let's go ahead and continue. Ha! Yeah, there we go. What's also cool is I always like the backings of figure boxes because they just have a lot of personality to them. So there's some cool signage in the back, and those are like the tables from the abandoned cram school. So there's that. So let's go ahead and flip her around. Classic little plastic covering. Ooh, my knife is getting dull. And then just pop her open. She comes with instructions, of course, but I don't really think you need instructions with something as fairly simple as this. Ooh. There's her extra face. Let's go ahead and take off all this protective wrapping off of her. Some good bubble wrap here and there. A lot of protective stuff. Stuff on her wrist for her. There's actually quite a bit of protective stuff. Oh, there you go. So for, I guess those of you who don't know, they put it in basically everywhere where it rubs, where it could rub off paint during shipping. So that's why it's kind of there. So that's kind of the purpose of all this protective wrapping. A lot of KO companies will not do that just because it doesn't really matter to them whether the paint rubs off or not. But yeah, so this one is kind of weird. I'm not too sure how to get this one off, just because it's, oh, there we go. So, because the little, I guess bracelet is kind of its own thing, so just kind of taking this off, kind of putting that to the side, put her head back on. Now also what I noticed, which is kind of interesting when I was taking it off, is there is a little magnet on her head, so I think the hat has a magnet as well, just so you can... Okay, yeah, it's cool. So it is magnetic on the top, which is super nice. And then just kind of going over some of her accessories. So kind of putting that trash away. So she obviously comes with a donut, which is classic Shinobu. Little French curler, whatever she calls it in the anime. Oh. It's funny because I was actually watching a video about her speech pattern, because apparently she speaks like an older, very formal way of Japanese. So instead of watashi, she'll say washi, or yeah, and then unu, which is interesting because I never noticed that that she kind of spoke old person Japanese, and that's why it's kind of cuter. But yeah, so back to the figure really quick. What's cool about this statue is that she's actually screwed in, so she's not really going anywhere, which is awesome. Also, there's a nice little shadow of Koyomi over there, which is cool as well because it kind of gives it a sense of depth. And then also, what's interesting is because the Good Smile 1/8 Hachikuji has the same thing where there's a shadow of Koyomi on her base, which is nice as well. So kind of getting that on. And then here is her alternate face. Let's go ahead and see if I can kind of focus on that. So very cute, very smug looking. Not too sure how well the camera picked that up. Yeah, there's a crazy shadow in here. I think it's because of my light. But, yeah. Very nice. What's also cool is there are some different kind of top coat layers, I guess, or different finishes. So her eyes and her eyebrows are actually a different finish than her face. So I kind of like that because Alter does that a lot with their statues, where basically they'll have glossy eyes just to kind of match. And then also some companies like Flair, I think, also does glossy lips. So that's also really nice. Not necessarily on all their statues, but most of their premium ones. So just kind of taking a peek real quick. And then, yeah, so you kind of have to go ahead and put this little donut box in there. Trying to see. Oh, it just kind of fits in there, I guess. Like, it's not really, it's pretty secure. It just kind of molds in there. And then her donut you would just kind of throw into her hand. So there is that. So that's pretty darn adorable. So there she is. Now, like I said earlier, the hat is magnetic, so you can kind of just leave that like that and it would look good. Now let's go ahead and switch out the face really quick just to kind of get a look at it. The paint apps on this are pretty okay. The thing about Koto is sometimes they'll be hit or miss with some of their stuff. This one is definitely one of their cheaper figures, so I definitely do think that it kind of reflects in the quality of like the hair. So some like areas there's like kind of like this weird dent in the back. But ultimately, I guess if you put the hat on, it doesn't really matter. But yeah. And also, I guess taking a look at the back right here, you can kind of see there's separation for her arm right there. A lot of the back sculpting is pretty nice. Nothing too out of the ordinary, I guess, in terms of sculpting to make it look like a prize figure. There's a weird dimple on her arm, so I think that might have been like an ejector peg. So basically, the way plastic injecting molds work is that they would channel the plastic through a mold, and then once it's done, it would shoot out the mold and then snip it from that runner. So if you build model kits, you kind of know what I'm talking about. So that's basically like a nub or a gate that was cut too deeply. So that's why it kind of looks like that. So yeah, just food for thought. That is kind of weird though. I guess that's not really that big of a deal since it's not that expensive of a figure, but it still looks nice. It has good shelf presence. And then, yeah, so just popping on her smug face there. And there you guys go. Hopefully, there we go. So just kind of taking a look at it real quick. We can get a little closer just to get a better view of her in a better light. So yeah, ultimately I really like this figure. It's I have a lot of different Shinobus, just because I was in a Shinobu collecting kick, I guess, trying to collect all the different versions. I think the only Shinobu that hasn't been done yet in like a nice statue format is the 5-year-old one, the one where like when you rub her head she makes like funny sounds. But yeah, the rest have all been done, so like the teen one, the adult one, and our classic Shinobu. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for this little unboxing. I guess technically a review since there's nothing really much to talk about in terms of statues. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that, and hopefully you guys tune in for more. See you next time.